Hello, people. Welcome. Welcome to perhaps the greatest boxing event in history. What an incredible event. Who will win this fight? Two of the greatest boxers to ever grace the ring. What a charming, charming event. I don't even know who's going to win this fight. This is absolutely incredible. I'm glad to be a part of history. Khalid Ahmed says, Yellow Fabs, how are you, sir? Oliver Ekman says, anyone watching the stream, the crowd is dead. Hassan Ahmed says, what a world we live in. What a world we live in indeed. Is the crowd dead? I haven't seen it yet. I just started watching now. Paul is here. He's talking to Brendan Schaub. He's got his hands wrapped. He seems ready to go. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff, people. For those that don't know, like Logan Paul has had one boxing match which he's lost. He's an incredible athlete, good wrestler, but he's only had one boxing match which he lost. Mayweather has 50-0. For those that don't know, Mayweather as a boxer went to the Olympics, took a bronze medal in what was a very controversial decision, very similar to what happened with Roy Jones Jr. when Roy Jones Jr. took a silver medal. He'd also, in that same Olympics, I'm talking about Mayweather here, he was the first American to beat a Cuban. No US guy had beaten a Cuban in the last 20 years or so, and that was in the 96 Atlanta games, and he narrowly beat the Cuban, and then he lost in the semifinals, I believe, against a Bulgarian, and that's where he took the bronze medal. So that's kind of the pedigree that we have here. What I'm talking about is 96 Olympics, right? And Paul has lost one. We have Badu Jack versus Dervin Colina, and he's a minus 240. Sorry, minus 5,000 plus 1,000. So Badu Jack is minus 5,000 betting favorite. So wow. Let's see what people have written here. Kyle Tuche says, yo, Hassan Ahmed says, let's get started with the stream. We're waiting here. Badu Jack and Dervin Colina are about to step out. Absolutely barn burner this fight's going to be, I believe. Kawhi Leonard says, I would love Logan to win just for fun. Classy Nasty says, it's raining. It's not raining here, though. Hassan Ahmed says, let's get started with the freak show then, lads. Chris Mangalan says, so glad I found your live streams. Love the podcast. Thank you very much, sir. I'm glad to have you here. And we as a community are happy to have you here. The Colombian's about to step out. He's a huge, huge underdog. Hopefully he's getting a massive payday or a good payday at least. So let's go with the underdogs. I wonder what the odds are for Mayweather to lose. Does anyone know what those odds are? Emily Spencer says, how much was the pay-per-view? I'm not sure. Somewhere in the neighborhood of like $50 or something like that. $60 Australian, something like that. Brendan Schaub probably going to call Logan Paul a dime piece like he usually says about male celebrities. I wasn't aware about that. I didn't know that he did that, and shouldn't do that. Oliver Ekman says, oh my God, Brendan Schaub as an interviewer. I'm not really that familiar with Brendan Schaub massively. I watched his podcast a few times, but not a great deal. Ophon says, howdy right back at you. Emily Spencer says, thoughts on Schaub, Fab? All jokes aside, honestly, what I think of Brendan Schaub, I think he's someone that that did the most that he could with his talents, and he's doing very, very well. Like whether or not we agree or you agree or you think that he's a funny comedian or not, I've never seen his stand up. Never seen his stand up. I've watched his podcast a couple of times. Regardless of that, he's doing it, and he's doing very, very well. And he was obviously very, very talented as an athlete, and he used that to open up as many doors as he possibly could with it. He wasn't going to be the best player in the NFL or anything like that, but he used that to open the door to the Ultimate Fighter House. He used the Ultimate Fighter House to get him into the UFC. He used the UFC to set up a platform for himself as a podcaster, comedian, and entertainer, if you will. So, man, hats off to him. I think that in that sense, I think that's pretty fantastic. yeah, I can do I can't do anything but say that's pretty cool, you know. Um, Now, do I watch his podcast religiously or not or whatever? No, I don't. Kawhi Leonard says, sure, he lost the fight against KSI, but he uppercut him and dropped him on his face. He lost because of himself. He got a 2 point deduction. Still, against KSI, I'm not talking about the actual fight. I'm talking about the fact that he's got the one fight versus Mayweather's 50. In fairness, I didn't watch that fight. Oliver Ekman says, look at the crowd. I will be looking at the crowd. I will, mate. Brad Galea says, g'day, Fab. Hope you and the family are well. Thanks for the stream, making Melbourne lockdown as good as it can be. Hey, man, how hard is it down there for you guys in Melbourne, man? My thoughts go out to you because the lockdown was pretty shit when we had it here in Sydney. I wasn't a massive fan. But we're not going through anything like that, you know, at all. So it's completely different. And Melbourne seems to just keep popping off. So it must be hard. And I know, obviously, in other parts of the world, it's been horrific. So, yeah. Michael says, good work, mate. Thank you, Michael. Mitch G says, hey, Fab, when does the main event start, please? Mate, it was meant to start at midday. It hasn't started at midday. I've got to go train some people at 2 o'clock. So let's hope that we get this wrapped up by 2. Badu Jack is already in the ring. Let's see how this fight goes. And then, yeah, so the main event is after this one. First Australian says, Chris, you have to shave your head like Fab if you wish to continue watching. We're like a biker club here, but skinheads. Yes, that's exactly what I am, a skinhead. Oliver Ekman says, after this fight, Mitch G. Bo Tab says, awesome show tonight. That's what we're going for, man. Floyd Mayweather is a minus 800 favorite. Well, he's a minus 800 favorite, and he's not the biggest favorite on this card. This Badu Jack guy is like a minus 1,000. Mitch G says, thanks, Oliver. Let me see. Oh, Ophon says, oh man, his comedy special was so bad. I'm sure he's a nice guy in person, though. Dude, I don't know about, I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen it. But the balls it takes to do stand up, and the balls it takes to do stand up, if you're not good at it. Because if you're good at it and you got like a lot of followers and this and that, people are gonna laugh. People are gonna go there. If you got a, I don't know, 20 million followers and you go and do a comedy show, the people that like you, they're gonna go follow you and they're gonna laugh, you know. But if you're not very good at it, and I'm not saying Brendan isn't, I don't know, I haven't seen it, but I'm saying if you're not very good at it, I cannot imagine something worse than trying to make people laugh if you're not good at it. But he probably has his followers and they probably went and watched it and probably laughed. Kevy says, hello, Mr. Grange Television. Hello, sir. Ophon says, can't argue with his success. You cannot. You cannot. Now, whether it's great or not is a different story, but good for him, man. Paul is a minus 500, so not that insane odds, actually, which is odd. Why do you think that is? I think possibly because Paul would have a massive following, and when you start betting, it changes the odds. Possibly because of that, he's got a huge following, and he's a very impressive figure. You know, cuts a very impressive figure. So if you don't know much about boxing, you probably put some money on him. And you know what? Maybe when it was outlandishly bad, you'd probably put $20 on there anyways. Greetings from Toronto, Fab from Sasank. Hello, sir. Stainless Stove says, Marco, boy, their physical size. Yeah, but man, like, it's a big fucking difference. If I don't know if anyone's boxed with a good boxer and you're not that good of a boxer, it feels like your arms are underwater and you're on roller skates. That's what it feels like. Like a guy like Mayweather would feel like there's 10 dudes in there with him. Joe Schmo says, it's no surprise, Fab. We will get there. Thank you, sir. Hassan Ahmed says, did you hear about Badu Jack's old opponent, John Pascal? He popped for Peds. I did not. Sport reactions. Big fan from Melbourne. I'm in lockdown. Sorry to hear, brother. I hope everything goes well for you. Hassan Ahmed says, is the official haircut of the Grange TV a bald head? Has to be, mate. Has to be. Now, we are like a club. Chris Manglin says, "Tell you what, if Logan wins, I'll shave my head." All right. Then you got to add. Please tag us all on Instagram so we can see it. I would love to see that. If you shave your head because of that, don't do it, mate. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Um, Hassan Ahmed says, "Man, I've got luscious long hair. Got to cut it now." Then okay, let me keep going down a little bit. So I'm going to miss a few people's. Anybody know the weight difference of Paul and Floyd? Yeah, 155 and 189, something like that. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 35 pounds. So that's what 13 kilos for us in the developed world. Um, it's yeah, so it's a big difference, man. We're off, people. Badu Jack sitting behind a nice sharp jab to the body from Badu Jack. Kalina's skirting the outside of the ring. He's now being cornered, and Badu Jack is measurably landing the jabs on him. There's been no answer from Kalina. Kalina's trying to dance out of the way and hold the center of the ring. Right rip to the body from Badu Jack, lunges in with a huge left hook, none of which connect entirely. But there's been very little offense, if at all, from Kalina. Kalina tries a little left hook there, but doesn't get anything, doesn't go anywhere with it. Neither guy has landed flush, but you have to imagine that all the aggression is going to come from Badu Jack moving forward. Jab to the body by Badu Jack. Oh, nice little counter by Kalina with the right hand. Nothing doing though. Right hand to the body again by Badu Jack. Kalina again being caught on the ropes. He has to stay mobile. He can't let Badu Jack hold him there against the ropes and be able to land shots on him like the way that he is. Trying to clinch his Kalina now, but I haven't seen him launch. Oh, low blow. Oh, 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 the pain. So it was a low blow. Okay, what have we got here? Christian Lawrence says, "Hey there, Fab. I hope all is well with you. By any chance, have you seen Floyd's third pro fight against Jerry Cooper? He scored a body jab, knockdown, en route to a TKO. I think I've seen a highlight of that. I can't remember that fight in particular. Do you see the body open for Floyd tonight? I see fucking Floyd's going to hit him with whatever he wants. Really, I think. Um, yeah. So Kalina now is clinching a lot, and I haven't really seen him launch any discernible offense here. As Badu Jack moves him back, Jack with another rip to the body. He's landing some good shots, is Jack to the body. Who do I have for Gastelum versus Cannonier? Man, that's a tough one. I see Gastelum being a little bit quicker in the opening rounds. If he can't get Cannonier out of there in the opening rounds, I see Cannonier being able to grind it out. But I think Gastelum's a little bit quicker than Cannonier. Diaz next week. What's your thoughts on that fight? Diaz versus Leon Edwards. I'll get to that one in a second. Ask me again in a second. I'm just going to keep commentating this first round of action where Badu Jack is still ripping to the body as Kalina tries to pummel with him a little bit. Kalina has not launched a great deal of offense. Oh, left hook there. Left hook lead by Jack as Kalina was moving backwards. Another right hand landed on that right hand counter by Kalina. And then again, he pummels with Badu Jack. He's countered twice with that right hand. I like it. I like when he does it. Now he's looking for the right hand lead, but that was massively telegraphed, and Jack was having none of it. 15 seconds to go in this first round. They exchange a pair of jabs, and Jack keeps working the body, in particular with that right hand to the body, straight right hand to the body, and some rips to the body as well. And that's the round, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think Edwards, to me, in my opinion, the thing that I see with Edwards that could play against him is he doesn't have that one-stop shop power. Like I'm sure he does have it, but it's not something that you've seen him use over and over and over in the. He's not known as a heavy puncher, so that's going to be a bit hard for him to keep Diaz off him in that regard. However, the way he places that elbow is fucking spot on, and with the way he places it, Diaz has a lot of scar tissue, just like his brother. and I see that being able to rip Diaz open a little bit and cut him open. Diaz doesn't have the greatest wrestling in the world, and Edwards runs hot and cold with his wrestling defense. He was taken down a lot by Cerrone. He was taken down a lot by other fighters, but then he impressed me a lot against Gunnar Nelson with his grappling. So I don't know, man. I think that if he can't hurt Diaz and make Diaz respect him early, then Diaz is going to come forward and keep putting the pressure on him. If he can start cutting Diaz up and hurting him from the start, then I think Edwards can do it. But it's going to be a tough one, and that's where it starts to get a little bit complicated because Edwards isn't known as being a massive power striker. Um, so it's going to be. I think it's a really interesting matchup. My my stream just my stream just stopped working while we're making history here, people. Unbelievable. Okay. I'll answer some of these questions while I wait for it. Stainless Service says, how do you train people to strike with physically larger opponents? What do you think Mayweather might do? I think Mayweather has seen just about anything and everything that you're going to see in a boxing ring. He probably could bring in a lot of people that are taller, that have that kind of range. But the thing with range, dude, is like it's only good if you know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it, it doesn't matter. And I'm sure Paul, has worked on it, and I'm sure he's improved and all of that. I think that he is a very good athlete, and he's a super smart guy as well. He had actually what do you call it? Uh he went on an academic scholarship to university, and he wrestled Division 1 in college as well, which is no mean feat. Like that's a pretty serious person. But Mayweather has seen it all, dude. He has seen it all in probably 30 plus years of boxing, more 30, maybe 35 years of boxing. I think he probably started as a 6 or a 7 year old. His father was a boxer, his uncles were boxers, like he comes from a boxing family. So yeah, I think he's seen it all, dude, and I don't think Paul's going to bring anything to the table other than maybe Mayweather walking into a shot because of whatever reason. Other than that, it's not really about that. Um, but yeah, you'd probably bring in long guys that mimic that style as well. There's not a lot of footage on Paul, in fairness. There's 33 seconds to go in this 2 of 10 rounds. Kalina's still moving around, but he's throwing that right hand, but there's not a lot of power anymore in that right hand that he's throwing. And Jack just keeps working on the body as Kalina keeps trying to tie Jack up. And Jack takes the opportunity to land body rips with both the right and the left. The ref's taking them aside, deducting a point from Kalina, a point that he did not have to give up, to be fair. He is making a fight of it, though, Kalina, as being a heavy underdog that he was. Jack keeps coming forward behind the jab, the counter right hand from Kalina, and that's the bell, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone's going to their neutral corners. James Davis says, more likely to after tonight, Paul pissing blood or broken nose. Mate, it could be a combination of both, to be fair. It could be a combination of both. Um, I'm just going to skip a few people. Okay, I'm just skipping a few people. Hassan Ahmed says, Leon is going to give Nate the Brummy special. What is the Brummy special, Hassan Ahmed? Um, Ofon says, Hassan Ahmed, I see Leon smashing Nate, to be honest, but we'll see in 6 days. Like I said, man, if you can't keep Nate off him early on, like with big shots, Nate's going to keep coming. That's the problem. But I don't know. I'm very impressed. Leon's probably one of my favorite fighters at the moment. I really enjoy watching him fight. I like both those guys. Ooh, big right hand landed by Jack. Kalina doing a good job of staying in this fight. doing everything he can to stay in the fight. Rather, gets hit with a little stiff jab there by Jack. Oh, they exchange left hooks, nothing doing from either man. Juice says, how many minutes per round would you like in boxing? I'm not as well versed in boxing and necessarily, so 3 minutes is fine for me. Spam Gaming says, bro, when is the match gonna start? Sorry, man, I have very, very little control of that, my friend. So yeah, I'm just here telling you what's going on. So it should be after this fight. Guys, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. We will also be changing the name of the podcast by next week's main event. By the time that's on, so this will be one of the last times that Grange TV will be Grange TV. Good rips to the body. Jack keeps doing it as Kalina tries to tie him up. I agree with you, Cooper Marion. I don't believe that. So he just wrote, Floyd probably does whatever he wants. I just expect Logan to get surprised fast. I agree with you, sir. Hofon says, Mayweather should have brought in KSI to train for this fight. Only KSI can beat Logan Paul. Cooper Marion says 38 years. He started at 6 and won Golden Gloves at 16. Yeah. So there you go. And he still looks good. He's older, that's no joke, but yeah. Street Heat says, what's your prediction? Mayweather versus Paul. I can't see Paul winning if he's the same fighter against KSI. I can't see Paul winning if he's 10 times the fighter that he was against KSI. No disrespect to Paul. Cooper Marion says, yeah, and Floyd has spent a good bit of those 38 years training to deal with his physical decline and to exploit other weaknesses and training. Man's a literal weapon. I agree with you, Cooper Marion. I absolutely agree with you. Hanoi Tripper says, can you see Leon submit Nate? He could submit Nate if he hurts Nate. You know what I mean? But submit him like both of them doing jiu-jitsu together. Nate's jiu-jitsu is fucking proper level, man. It's good. Like, it's a real good, proper level of jiu-jitsu. He's very, very good. But having said that, Edwards really impressed me, man. In particular with against Gunnar Nelson. He really, really impressed me. Joseph says, Coach, sad about the Dallas Mavericks. Silver lining, they have a bright future with Luka. Man, he's a good player, that guy, dude. Hassan Ahmed. I was hoping you'd ask what the Brummy special is. It's the curry, chai, and jerk chicken combo. So why would he give that, Hassan? Why would he give that? Triples up on the jab, does Jack. Oh, they exchange a pair of right hands. Jack coming the better off in that exchange. Kalina trying to clinch again. Jack goes looking for a left uppercut and then rips to the body, looks for a hook over the top. Kalina's trying to measure for a right hand, throws it, but Jack takes it on the gloves. There's 8 seconds to go. Kalina's doing a good job now. He's got Jack up against the ropes and he's swinging for the fences. Jack laughs, and so does Kalina. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to go a little bit forward. I'm going to miss a few people. Sorry, guys, if I miss you. Ofon says, hey, Fab, has there ever been a time in a certain UFC division where almost all of the top 5 matchups happen? It seems like welterweight has so many good matchups, but it's relatively inactive. Has there ever been a time where almost all of the top 5 matchups happened? When like in the UFC, not as much, but I do remember the UFC's had some really, really good fights, man, and some really good matchups. But there's been some really good tournaments. Like, I remember when they had the Strike Force heavyweight tournament. Oh, man, that was a fucking cracker. The one that Daniel Cormier won. And I believe he won that as an alternate. That was pretty impressive. And Pride had a middleweight tournament. And Ricardo Arona and Vanderlei starred in that. That there was some crazy matchups at the time. Rampage and Vanderlei. There was some really Arona and Ninja. No, it wasn't Polifilo and Ninja. I think it was Arona and Shogun. Like, there was some really good matchups, and they had to have the matchups because it was a tournament. So that in that sense, that was pretty cool. Okay. Okay. Gun Bun, can you stop with a let's go thing or I will have to block you, my friend? Kalina just got dropped pretty bad. First Australian, if you want tournaments with top ranked fighters, go watch some Bellagio. They've been doing it for years. No, not necessarily. I'm just saying to you, that was the ones that come to mind, that where big matchups were waiting. You were waiting to see these big matchups, that probably you wouldn't have gotten to see at a different time. Ophon says, I didn't know how to get streams back in the day, but Pride seemed legendary even when it was current. I forgot about those days. Laugh out loud. True that, Fab. First Australian Bellator. On that, First Australian, we will be streaming companion for this weekend's Bellator event. Uh, so we will be doing that. Jack stalking him forward, coming, hits him with a nice little right hand lead. And again with a counter comes Kalina. Kalina with some head movement, takes a knee. Looks like he shot a double, but he didn't. I think he slipped, in fairness. Or is he counting him? Is the ref counting him? No, he slipped. Kalina looking forward, sitting behind the jab again. Hits him with the right hand over the top. Kalina again looks to clinch. Jack hitting him over the top with the lefts and rights. Kalina counters with a left hand lead. Good combination, right hand, left hand. Sorry, guys, let me go back a bit. Now, I know what you meant, First Australian. Ophon says, at push, I'm on the Holloway bandwagon like everyone else, but he's got to be careful of them tricky kicks. Stainless Stove says, what would you find more entertaining, a TKO finish or Floyd literally dancing around Logan Paul? I want to see skillful dancing, says Stainless Stove. I don't know, man. I'm just watching this fight as a kind of spectacle more than anything. Oh, Jack has dropped Kalina. Then it looked like he even hit the downed opponent to the body. Kalina looks injured. He's not going to get up. He spat his mouth guard out. He's not going to make the count. I think the fight's over. The fight is over, ladies and gentlemen, and it shouldn't be long before the main event kicks off. Lee, let me see. Sorry, guys. I'm just. Okay. I just skipped a few people. He's 26 too late for Logan to have a decent MMA career if he starts now. To be honest with you, no, I just don't see why he would fight MMA when he'd be getting more money than the champions to fight Floyd now in his second pro boxing fight. So it would make absolutely no sense to go on a and not get that kind of money. Um, and also he'd probably be able to run his own show doing what he does now. Like he doesn't have an employer per se. Um, but no, like I said, he wrestled Division One in very good level. It's a decent level, and he can obviously box. Like he might not, he's not going to be world champion boxer necessarily anytime soon, like a Floyd Mayweather is or someone like that. But still, he'd have decent hands. As you saw, his brother knocked out Ben Askren, so he's got hands. Um, Obviously, he'd have to work on a few other things. But I think he also has knee problems. He's got pretty bad knee problems. I don't know that they're as bad as mine, but he's got bad knees. And from someone that has bad knees, it's the wrestling and the MMA can kill you. And it says, Fab, how do you think Figgy versus Moreno 2 will go? I think I think with Figgy, he has to get Moreno out of there in the first couple of rounds because otherwise it'll be a show of the same thing that happened in the first fight. If you can't get him out of there early, Moreno's just going to keep coming, and Moreno is, I think, out of the two, is actually technically better. And I've said that before, and people laughed at me, but I do think that he's the better guy out of the two of them. Having said that, I don't like Devison's got some serious power, serious power of flyweight, which is very rare. But Moreno's got a great chin. He's got a great chin. I don't think he has to cut quite as much weight as Figgy. And so you know, I think if Moreno gets out of those first two rounds, he starts to make life difficult for because Figgy has good jiu-jitsu, but so does Moreno. Moreno's got some serious jiu-jitsu. He can box and he's got a great chin, and it showed in that fight, in their first fight. But Figgy is like kind of like a little bit like Francis Ngannou at flyweight. You know what I mean? He's got proper stop you power. Tyler says, "What's your thoughts on Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul?" I, my, you would tend to think that Tyron Woodley would be too much for him. Like you would have to think that, but then you'd also have to think like how much actual boxing has Tyron done. You know what I mean? Because a ring is different, dude. A ring is very different. I've seen really good MMA strikers, really, really good ones, do not so well in boxing. It's very different, man. It's very, very different. And if one guy is talented and he spent the last, this is like honest truth, if one guy's very talented and he spent the last 4 or 5 years boxing, I don't think that Woodley would have spent a lot of time actually boxing. I'm not saying he didn't put gloves on. I'm not saying he didn't spar with some good boxers, but actually sparring and understanding the ring craft and understanding the angles that you have in boxing are completely different that you have to MMA. The corners of the ring make it so that you can get trapped much differently than you can in the octagon. It is really quite different. You can have a boxing match in an octagon, you can have a boxing match in a ring, and the results will be completely different. So I think Tyron will have more of a chance than Askren did, but I'm starting to think Paul can do it. But I don't know this about Woodley. I don't know how much time he has actually spent. He's better than Askren with his hands, that's for sure. But I don't know how much time he's actually spent boxing versus what Paul has. He's got a lot of power, does Woodley, a lot of power. But as far as a boxer where he's got the different angles, the different looks, and all of that, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know because I haven't seen him. Sir Marco Boy says just bought me a Grange TV mug. The neon logo is pretty dope. Thank you, Sir Marco Boy. You're the man. I really appreciate that. I really, really appreciate it, guys. Thank you for any and all support, whether it's financial or otherwise. Love it, guys. Thank you so much. Hassan Ahmed says there will be no Leon Edwards slander. Brumtown represent. Who is Kalina, anyways? Probably a golfer. I don't know who Kalina is, to be honest with you. Stainless Stove says, I want to see Floyd pull out dancing like Prince Nassim. He was on Dancing with the Stars, was Floyd Mayweather, so he can actually dance. So that'd be interesting. Push says, oh, fine. Yes, Max has proven greatness, but I worry if his chin fails him when Yair is able to land a high kick or something, it could be a shocker. That fight, Yair versus Max, again, it's one of those things. Yair early, it's anyone's fight. First 7, 8 minutes, anyone's fight. After that, when Max starts to get your distance and starts to land the jab and starts to move forward on you, starts with his showmanships, talking to you, hitting you, moving, then it's going to be Max. And a lot of that depends how many rounds the fights are too. Um, Kawhi Leonard says, do you know in how many minutes exactly the fight will start? I'm going to imagine that they don't start this fight for another half an hour. I reckon. That's just me. MMA fighters deserve a lot of money. Yeah, not just MMA fighters, dude. Let's be real. Doctors, lawyers, teachers, all of them deserve a lot more money too. So before I start going, the fighters deserve more money, I think, man, there's a lot of people that deserve more money. Nurses deserve more money, Okay, Brad Galea says, I'm so bloody keen for the fights this weekend, stacked from top to bottom. UFC have spoiled us. That's going to be a cracker this weekend. It is going to be an absolute cracker. On that though, we will also be streaming the Bellator card the day before, so please join us for that. Christian Lorenz says, Johnston Street says, "Hi gents, this is a terrible fight on at the moment. I'm gonna go forward, guys, so that we have caught up to everything." Tony says, "Hey Fab, hope you will. Hopefully something exciting happens tonight." I hope so too, sir. I hope so too. Um, Dan Hooker. Yeah, they all do, man. Everyone deserves more money. I don't know that I'm gonna fly the flag for fighters just on their own necessarily. There's Stitch Duran. Had Stitch Duran on the podcast. There's an episode with him on it. It's actually a really, really interesting character was Stitch Duran. Sorry, I looked away. Did they restart this fight or something? Ovan says, but I bet he hydrates to 150. He's just a bigger guy too, man. He's just like a bigger guy, Figgy. Alex Collar says, "Hey Fab, good to see you again. Hope all is well, mate." All is well, sir. How are you, Alex? How are you doing? Christian Lawrence says, "Will I be rooting for Cambosis to upset Teofimo?" Man, good for Cambosis. You know, Cambosis doesn't live far from me. Not like it doesn't live far, probably an hour away. You know, but still not that far. Um, and Teofimo is a fucking monster, dude. So good on him for getting that fight. Good on him for stepping up and taking it. Good on him for getting a payday. And I hope he wins it. Yeah, for sure. Johnson Street says this is corner commentary, Fab. Okay, because I can't see or hear what's going on. So I was like, fuck, don't tell me, because you got to understand it. It would not surprise me if they just restarted the fight. First Australian says, is Paulo Costa pricing himself out of fights? He's refusing to fight unless they pay him upwards of 400,000. What's his future hold in your opinion? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like if he's not going to fight for less than 400, I don't think the UFC is going to let him fight. Because UFC won't pay him that. Do you know what I mean? But hopefully they do. I don't know how much pool he has. You know, I don't know. 400,000 would seem fair for someone. In the upper echelons. Where yeah, you might fight a couple of times in a year, but you might also get injured and not fight for a couple of years. So I don't know. I hope he gets whatever. The more money he gets, the better. But yeah, I don't know. Also, in fairness, dude, I don't see him beating Rob or Israel. At all. Like I don't see him beating them. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, man, if you can come out and say, listen, I'm not going to fight for unless you pay me X amount of money. So hopefully he's getting stuff outside of the outside of the UFC. You know what I mean? Guys, I apologize if I miss some people's just simply because there's a lot of comments and I'm just trying to stay on all the comments. Um, okay, I think Paulo Costa should go to a different organization like Bellator and lose to Musasi. Man, that's the thing as well. I don't think he beats Musasi, to be fair. Um, Alex Collar says, yeah, good, thanks. Got a question for you. Do you think these celebrity top fights through Triller do good for combat sports as a whole, or is it tarnishing the image? Uh, You'd have to define what doing good for combat sports means. Is it doing good for anyone? I highly doubt it. I don't think it's doing good, like good for anyone. But as in tarnishing combat sports, I think this is a lot healthier still than some of the shit I've seen when in fights that are okay. Like I've seen dudes say shit and do stuff in the UFC where you would get sanctioned in any other fucking sport. and you'd be banned. You wouldn't be able to play that sport. You wouldn't be able to. You'd lose all your sponsors. But they just use it to hype up a fight. Shit that's xenophobic, racist, all sorts of shit that people say and do. So I don't know if that didn't tarnish the sport. This is not tarnishing the sport. Do I think that it's silly? Yeah, I do. Do I think that it's even dangerous? Yeah, fucking oath, it's dangerous. You got a guy that's lost. He's only had one fight and he lost that versus a guy that's 50 and the greatest boxer to ever thing. And it's dangerous. People can die in there. Like you see what happened with when Nate Robinson fought. He's obviously not a fighter, and he fought a guy and got fucking knocked out bad, sickening. That was sickening. Yeah, Marvin Gaye's on my t-shirt. Hassan Ahmed. I'll move back so you can see it. This is my t-shirt. I'll be back in 1 sec. Brad Galea says, awesome. We'll definitely tune in to the Bellator episode. Any chance you can start the UFC stream 20 minutes earlier for the Brad Riddell fight? Sir, I will start I'll do my best to start it for the Brad Riddell fight. Huge fan of Brad Riddell. Love watching that guy fight, man. Very, very, very fucking good fighter, man. Very good striker. Very, very, very good fighter. Love watching him fight. Very, 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 very talented guy. Beetlejuice, hey Fab, what did I miss? Honestly, Beetlejuice, nothing. Nothing, mate. You're right on time. Ophon says, a man of culture that Fabio is. Thank you, sir. Jay Farrell says, are you all aware that a massive number of people can't watch his pay-per-view who bought it? For real? Why? How come? How? When does it start? It should be starting soon, man. But I think probably in the next 25 minutes. Hassan Ahmed says, this is the part of the show when Eli jumps in. Now, Eli's not here, man, unfortunately. The bastard. He's out saving kittens from a tree or something. Nick Bryden says, love your Fab and your t-shirt. Thank you, sir. Ophon says, Jay Farrell, that happened in Mayweather versus McGregor too. Johnson Street says, same, can't wait for Riddell. Really hope he gets the win. Ophon says, Brad Riddell is from City Kickboxing, right? Yes, he is. Stainless Stove, do you think that Joanna JJ will fight again? Honestly, as a fan, I hope she doesn't. I don't want to see her take more possible damage. I don't know if she'll fight again. I don't know her at all, anything about her. I think she's taken some big losses, some big shots. I don't think it just affected her physically. I think also psychologically. Like she went from absolute Terminator, nothing can hurt me, nothing can beat me, to she's not doesn't look the same person. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about that though. Jay Farrell says, oh, thousands of people are going insane on Twitter. I bought it and cannot see it after 2.5 hours. That fucking sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. We had a few problems at the start as well. Jay Farrell says, Twitter is on fire. Cooper Marion says, hey, how's the baby Chino, Fab? Man, she's been going nuts, eh? She's been going nuts. No, just going nuts. Anthony Holloway would be interested though if you have a huge size advantage. Plus, eat a lot of fish. They help you reduce joint pain. And no, I'm not a big dude. I'm tall. I have that easy build. Laugh out loud. Juice, if you knew nobody would get hurt, what celebrities would you like to see fight? I don't know, man. I don't really care, but man, there's a few that come to mind. Oliver Ekman, is Eli still a hostage negotiator? Yeah, he's the one that takes the hostages though. Ophon, okay. Hanoi Tripper says, do you think Gallen has any chance next week at all? At least as much as Buster Douglas. Is it against Justice Hooney? Is that right? If it's against Justice, not really. Um, Nick Biden says, I'm thinking of betting my parents' superannuation on Logan Paul to KO Mayweather. What do you reckon? The important thing there is, what do your parents think of you doing that? Ophon says, at Beetlejuice, anything for you, my childhood cartoon friend? Yeah, against Hooney, nah. No fucking chance, dude. I've seen Hooney like fucking box, man, against good people, and that dude is fucking lethal, dude. Like proper, like different level. He'll be world champion one day. Fucking, you heard it here first. He'll be world champion. He can whack, dude. He can whack. His footwork's so good, so crisp. Um, yeah, they very fucking good, dude. Really good balance, really good footwork, really good head movement. Big boy, big fucking boy, and he hits super hard. Very lethal guy, man. Very lethal guy. Yeah, I see Hooney Hooney getting the better of that one. Um, Aaron says, "What's going on? Is going to be stuck in my head now looking at that T-shirt." Yeah, I love it. Mark Whelan says, "Hi Fab, hope you get more subs because you deserve it. Cheers. You do a great job. Plus, Justice Hooney's a real deal. His hands are elite and fit as fuck." Yes, sir. Yes, he is. Justice Hooney's a fucking monster. My stream has frozen, people. Um, James Hanold says, "Why don't the Logan brothers fight someone their own size like Rumble?" um, Beetlejuice says, "Hey Fab, I was reading that in George Foreman's contract at his peak, he was not allowed to knock guys out in the first 2 rounds. So you reckon Mayweather has something in his contract like that?" I don't know. I don't know if that's actually true with Foreman. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people say shit. I don't know if it's actually true. Um, I reckon this would have been whatever Mayweather would have wanted it to be. Do you get what I mean? Like, if he had wanted it, whatever, it would have been whatever. Hassan Ahmed says, Fab, who is your current favorite UFC fighter? I don't have favorites, man, to be honest with you. There's a lot of fighters that I'm interested in, a lot of fighters that I like watching. Peter Yan is one that I think is really good. I really enjoy watching him fight, like tuning in for his fights. Brad Riddell, I like watching him fight as well. I like watching Gregor Gillespie fight. That's why I was so pumped when I thought the two of them were going to fight, because that would have been a really good one. Um, yeah, so I don't have like proper favorites, you know. Fucking Jake Paul looks double the fucking size of Mayweather. Logan, whatever his name is. Does Mayweather fight Jake next for the family revenge storyline? Yeah, I don't know, man. They could keep doing this forever. Julio Casas, are you seen as a good commentator? I'm new here. I don't know, mate. I don't know if I am or if I'm not. Um, but thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. Watch the fights. I don't know. I'll leave that to other people to answer, Julio Casas. Um, Hassan Ahmed says, I'm actually a big Aljo fan. Laugh out loud. No, 100%. A 1,000%. Fab, would you fight Jake Paul? No, I wouldn't necessarily, but if they paid me the money that they're paying people to fight, I would fight anyone, really. Yes. But I don't want to fight anyone. That's the truth of the matter. But man, if you pay me some of the fucking ridiculous figures that people are thinking, like, yeah. I'd rather fight him in MMA if I was gonna have to fight someone. Um, Juice says, you think Clarissa Shields will make a successful transition into MMA? I don't see why she wouldn't. You get what I mean? I don't see why she wouldn't. Martovi says it's going to be a Royal Rumble. The whole Paul family is going to enter the ring and take on Mayweather. Man, honestly, that wouldn't surprise me either. Paven says hello, and I say hello right back, sir. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't, guys, already, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Hanoi Tripper says, is the part-time boxer Victor Belfort a good next fight for Jake, or Belfort way too dangerous? Belfort's older now. He's a lot older, you know. But that would be an interesting one, you know, for Jake Paul to take on. Paul Martin says, "You're the best commentator, Fab." Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that, sir. Mark Whelan says, "What's your opinion on Tim Zhu?" And yes, he's a good commentator, honest and insightful. Thank you, Mark Whelan. I appreciate that. Tim Zhu, I think, man, they're bringing him along nicely. They're bringing him along slowly. Um, he's got crazy power. He knows how to, and he's boxed. While he may not have had like heaps and heaps of boxing, I think he took third at nationals at one stage in Australia, which is a decent level. You know what I mean? It's amateurs and it's different. And he looks more well suited to pros. You know, he looks like he's much more like a heavy hitter than he is like a amateur, like amateur kind of style. So I see no reason why being brought along correctly, promoted correctly, that he can't go very, very far in that sport. That's just my opinion. Um, Hassan Ahmed says, Fab, how do you think Chiesa versus Usman goes? I I can't see Chiesa beating him because I think that Usman's a better wrestler and they're both very good on the ground. Chiesa's very, very good on the ground. But I don't see he's the type of grappling that he does. He's really has to out wrestle you first to out jujitsu you on the ground, if that makes sense. And I don't see him being able to do that to Usman. And stand up wise, he's a little bit mechanical, you know, he's a little bit kind of like stiff, you know. And Usman has that timing down really well now, you know, like he knows what to do. It won't be an easy fight, but I don't see him beating him. First Australian, I fight the geese at the kebab shop for free on a Saturday night when he doesn't put enough to bully on it, like I asked. And so you should, sir. So you should. Martovi, I'd like to see WWE celebrity matches would be more entertaining than boxing. Maybe. We're about to walk out, people. Paul is walking out. When does this fight start? Right now, King. Right now, sir. There is walking out now. Is Paul. It's he's walking out looking very confident. We got ourselves a fight here, gentlemen. Kawhi says, I left. I didn't hear your reply, bro. In how many minutes will Logan Floyd start, mate? I keep seeing different times. Now, like now, Logan's walking out now. It was meant to start at 12 Australian Sydney time. It's fucking almost 1, but he's walking out now. Paul is walking out now. I think Chiesa vs Usman got canned by Dana, and he's officially said Covington rematch is next, Johnson Street. Now that's see that one makes more sense, and that's a good fight. Covington and Usman's a tough fight. The only thing is, right now, Usman has a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence. It's hard to beat that. Ryan Biggs says, Hey Fab, it's been a little while. I hope you're doing well. Cheers. I am, sir. How are you? And here is Mr. Paul walking out. He's inside the ring now, walking around. I imagine that Floyd's going to take a while to come out here. Paul's looking very animated. I will give this to Logan Paul. I will give this. He is a very good showman, as is his brother. I'm not a fan of the whole thing, but the way that they can get people to buy in to watch him is very, very impressive, man. It's a skill, man. You have to give that to him. And then they'll get in the ring and fight too. Um, Python Colt says, actually fun to listen to this. Feels kind of like being with friends watching. Thank you, sir. That's the feel that we're going for, sir. And we have a really good community here of people on the chat. It's really, really cool. I actually enjoy watching the fights like that as well because it feels like you're just hanging out watching with your friends, and it is truth. So thank you, man. That's what we're going for. Hassan says, I think Edwards beats Usman. Maybe I'm a little biased. Laugh out loud. I mean, Edwards can beat Usman. He's already lost to him, and you are incredibly biased. You horrible little man. Meow says, how can I watch the fight? I don't know, man. You're gonna have to pay for it, I suppose. But I will tell you what's going on if you like. Henry, Big Fab, how's it going, man? What do you think of Eugene Behrman coming out and saying that he was just trolling the Whitaker fans with what he's saying about Whitaker? I don't know what he said about Rob. I don't really know. Like I don't get involved in that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what he said. Um Hanoi Tripper says, "Hey Fab, did you meet your surfer mates? Did you go to school with them? Oh, how did I meet them? I just met them just through me living here. I live on the coast now, and so I see them all the time. Like just from here, from surfing and that. I've started surfing. Now there is a group of people that are singing and they're dancing and they're coming out. Now, I'm assuming that these guys are not fighters, but rather this ensemble seems to be a part of Mayweather's entourage. I don't know who they are. They are very, very serious with their walkout. I don't know who they are. Randy says Fab does the best streams. We all feel like he's our best mate. Randy, stop that, mate. Stop that. Come on. You don't know. I'm actually blushing inside. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Alex Collar says at Hassan Ahmed, Leon is super talented, seriously underrated. Should see evidence of this against Nate. Very, very good fighter, Leon. One of my favorites. Joshua Sanders says, who wins out of Marvin and Izzy? Not sure if this has been asked, but curious on your opinion. Joshua, it's been asked many, many times. I wouldn't be surprised if Marvin was able to do it. I've fucking bet against him a bunch of times. He's shown he's got the gas tank to really wrestle and really put that wrestle on. And he seems to have a good chin and a good understanding of distance to weather the striking. I can't go against Izzy. I'd have to say that Izzy is the favorite. I would have to say that. Like not just a favorite in odds wise, like I'm saying, like I favor Izzy just because I think, he's already beat Marvin once. He's very, very skillful. He's very long, knows how to strike, knows how to fight. I have to go with Israel. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Marvin beat him. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think he will. The Hungarian Hustler, 200 tuned in. Fab, wow. We need those numbers for your MMA watch alongs. Yes, sir. Yes, we do. Man, one time I did like a boxing thing. We had 1,000 people on. That was funny, man. Fab, favorite ice cream, either tiramisu or coffee, sir. Um, El Torrente says Showtime pay per view is still down. Really? Mine's still up, thank God. Mr. Nasa says they are rappers, Migos. Oh, okay, I see. Well, congratulations to them, man. They seem to be doing well and they seem to enjoy what they're doing. Um, I am now a firm favorite of this guy on the left here with the black hat on. The way that he's wearing that coat is very, very cool. I like it. I like the cut of your jib, sir. That's nice. First Australian, Marvin should have a good chin. It's massive. It's true. Hanoi Tripper says Marvin looks like a good sized league prop. He does. He looks like a big fella, doesn't he? Oliver Ekman says, "Don't ask for links in the chat." Thank you, Oliver. Thank you so much. Joseph says, at Kawhi Leonard, great game today, man. Looking forward on round two. Oh, yes, yes. Well done, the Clippers. Yes. Well done. And now Kawhi found some time to come on the podcast and join in the stream. So thank you very much, man. Um, so yeah, the fight should be any time now. This has now become my favorite ensemble, the Migos, due to the way that this gentleman wears his coat. And I'm very, very impressed by that. I like it. So anytime now, man. Joseph says, what I love about Coach is he breaks down fighters and rappers streetwear. That's what I do, man. That's what I do. Oh, Fat Joe. Fat Joe looks like my daughter so bad. I always send my mum pictures of my daughter's face and Fat Joe's face, like wearing the same kind of clothes, like the little hats and that. And yes, my mum doesn't like it at all. But yeah, my daughter's got the same kind of face as Fat Joe. And Mark Whelan says, let's hope this is worthy of the hype. I think Floyd will be too quick and having lived the fight life for his whole life, give him so much experience. Hassan Ahmed says, Fab is a driller. My Toby says, I think the rappers is a genius plan to lower Logan's adrenaline. Do you think the loss to Jan affects Izzy, or does he have enough experience that it won't phase him. I don't know, is he? Like, I don't know him. I don't know how much that's affected him. Or the other thing is there might be other shit in his life that affects him more. You know what I mean? Because you only see what you see in the cage and in the ring. So there might be other shit that affects him more. People think that the only thing that affects fighters is the win and loss against other fighters when they fight. That's a lot of the time shit you can handle. This stuff that happens outside of the ring that probably could affect him more. Having said all of that, the loss to Jan, I think Israel gave a tremendous account of himself. So he should, if anything, get confidence out of that, because it was a close fight against a light heavyweight champion. So that was pretty impressive. So now, what I've noticed, and I haven't really seen this before, and correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone has seen this before, I have never seen someone, and I could be wrong completely because I could be I'm talking about something that I'm not very familiar with. It seems to me that Floyd had not one, but two rap ensembles walk him out. I've only ever seen one. I've only ever seen people have one ensemble walk him out. He has had two. He has the first three gentlemen, the Migos, and then he has this other gentleman here with the big rings, and he seems to be wearing either a onesie or a matching. Money Bag Yo is the gentleman that's walking him out. It is not a onesie. It's a look like a tracksuit, and he's walking him out too. So he has had two sets of rappers or two sets of musical ensembles walking him out separately. That in and of itself has to be, I think, an achievement. Like most people will never have had one rap group walk him out to anything. Um, so yeah, Extraterrestrial says this is awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Skadoosh says I'm currently streaming the fight on my channel. Mark Whelan says it's on and off stream. It's freezing fab. It seems to be okay now. Hassan Ahmed says Izzy's mate died recently. Losing a mate sucks. It could affect him mentally. I'm sure it will affect him mentally. I don't know if it'll affect him in the fight. You get what I mean? Necessarily. And my condolences to him for losing a friend. That would be awful. Ophon says as long as he doesn't bring Drake, he'll be okay. Calling it as I see it. At some point, everyone takes the L. Yes, sir. Hassan Ahmed says I've seen two ensembles before in some boxing matches. Really, really. Then you would think that Floyd should have sprung for three. Mark Whelan says, I can't recall anyone having two entourages. It's new to me as well. Joseph says, Coach, after this, he's bringing out Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Temptations. he should. That is a very good one, Joseph. Ophon says, at James Hanold, if anything, I believe it will temper arrogance to help him take any coming fight extra seriously. SCB says, is this Logan, mate? Double Mayweather's weight. Yeah, he's a big boy, man. He's much bigger than Mayweather. Skadoosh says, I'm currently streaming the fight on my channel. Please stop that, Skadoosh. Jed Kerr says, when does the freak show start? Very, very soon, guys. Very, very soon. 189.5 pounds versus 155 pounds. But their reach is only 1.5 inch reach difference between Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. But I think Floyd's quite broad. David Morris says you can have any rapper or rap group walk you out, living or dead. Who is it? Ooh. I don't know, man. That was such a tough one. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to think on that one. I'll have to think on that one. Maybe Big Pun. Maybe Big Pun. Maybe. Maybe. Um, Never seen a fight with such a huge skill curve. It's fucking insane, dude. Um, Anthony Holloway says my head is shaped like an egg. Whoa, 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 buddy. Let's not throw accusations like that around, mate. Some of us have, and it is what it is. Mark Whelan says Izzy's friend was coward punched and was in a coma for a few days before dying. It was very tragic. That's horrible, man. That is fucking horrible, man. My condolences to him and his family. Montovi says looks like 50 Cent versus Logan Paul. Python Colt says, seems like a hard fight for Floyd given how massive a loss would be and how little he has to gain. Would you expect that dynamic to potentially cause issues, or is it a non factor at Floyd's level? I think Floyd's Floyd. I think there will be some of that in the early rounds, but like Logan Paul might hit him in the head and fucking knock him out, maybe. But this would be like you playing soccer 1-on-1 versus Lionel Messi or something. Like the chances of you beating him are fucking none. Like very little. Like yes, you could. Maybe you score the first goal and he just blows his knee to bits. Maybe something like that happens. But other than that, no. Like if Logan Paul can't knock him out in the first 3 rounds by doing something amazing, Floyd's going to murder him. He's not going to murder him because I think it's an exhibition, but no. Hassan Ahmed says, Lafala, no way does Logan only have an inch longer reach. Logan had a 7. Where the king reach. What has happened to Logan Paul's arms, ladies and gentlemen, since the KSI fight? Sorry, guys, I'm going to skip a few. Nelson Moreno says, this is like if Fab would fight with John Jones. It was something like that. It's something like that. He fed us to Logan Paul. He's a better fighter than me. Jet Kerr says, this will be a bigger upset than David versus Goliath if Logan done this one. It would be bigger. It would be bigger. I don't know what the odds would have been of David versus Goliath, but I think these odds would be worse. The Alcast says, Coach, what do you think of athletes cross training, like the Diaz brothers doing triathlons? Paul Felder recently said he wished he had started that style of training early in his career as well. You don't necessarily have to do triathlons per se, but I'm big on all of that type of stuff. The cross training is massive, not just in pure cardio sense, but when you can, like, if you play a ball sport or something like that, like say a training, I always made the guys play basketball or soccer or something like that because it incorporates different motor skills that you're not using, and that only helps you with your agility, with your movement, with your hand-eye coordination. So I'm a big fan of stuff like that, and that kind of training, like doing like triathlon and that kind of stuff, is pretty cool, man. Like it's very very good. And the triathlon you get a lot of cardio with very little impact on your body other than the running. The bike and the swimming gets you a lot of cardio without a lot of impact. So that's very good. Yeah. All right, guys, we're off. Paul is so much bigger than Mayweather. We're off. They come out. Paul has his hands down, looking very relaxed. He's looking to get as much range as he can off that jab. Mayweather looks half his fucking size, dude. It's crazy. Mayweather with a nice high guard. Logan Paul feints. He's looking for either a jab or a lead right hand, but Mayweather's got much better understanding of the distance, and he's starting to work it out already. Mayweather. He's nowhere there for Paul to hit him. Paul looks for a jab. Mayweather bounces out of the way. Mayweather looks tiny. Mayweather with his hands down. Mayweather will be here 2-3 rounds. You'll start to work this out. Logan Paul is pushing Mayweather up against the ropes. Not physically pushing him, but Mayweather looks for a lead left hand. Paul for a right hand of his own to the body. Mayweather again out of the way. Paul feints with a jab. Goes looking for a jab to the body. Keeps feinting. A swing and a miss with the right hand. Mayweather ducks under, turns, and moves Paul up again. And then hits him with a nice cheeky left rip to the liver on the break. Nice little lead right hand by Mayweather. Paul again feinting. Looking for the jab. Paul looking a jab. But Mayweather's out of the way completely and hits him on a return there with a jab of his own. Mayweather rushes in, throws a little jab, connects a little bit. Mayweather's doing such a fantastic job of just sliding out of the way of Paul's shots. So Paul's swinging and missing. And Mayweather's out of the way. Man, how skillful Mayweather is, it's pretty fucking incredible, man. Just watching him. And you can appreciate it even more when you watch him against this guy because this guy looks like a behemoth, you know. Again, Paul feinting, looking for the jabs. Mayweather's command of the ring is really something else, man. Like he's never any even close to getting hit, you know, like his distance control and his ability to gauge distance is phenomenal. He's covering up as Paul's swinging for the fences, swinging for the fences. He's swinging and swinging and swinging, and Mayweather's covering up. And that was the round. Are they doing 2-minute rounds? I thought there were three. He swung for the fences, did Paul, but nothing was landing. It's Mr. NASA 1997. Since there are no judges and no points, what stops them from fighting dirty? I imagine that if there's some really bad shit, they're going to get fined. You know, there'll be a contract. There'll be a contractual agreement as to what they can and can't do. Juice says, "What's the most cliche motivational line you used whilst cornering someone?" I can honestly say I don't use those fucked up lines, but I've heard them all, man. I have fucking heard them all. But I don't say those lines and all that shit. No. Galcus says Floyd will carry him through the first 5 or 6 rounds, give the crowd their money's worth, then move in for the kill. I don't think anything's going to be worth this money, but okay. We're off, people. Paul really went for it. Mayweather did a fan. They're fighting in 10-ounce gloves too. I know that. And it's what a lot of the bigger guys wear. Again with a little jab. Floyd getting out of the way. Paul looking to land that jab, but Mayweather with a jab to the body. Another jab to the body by Mayweather. Mayweather's so good, man, at slipping out of the way. Somebody asked, is Floyd as fast as before? No, I don't think he's anywhere near as fast as before. But I don't think he has to be as fast as before. He just knows where to be, you know? He just knows where to stand and he knows where to be. And he's 3-4 steps ahead of Paul. I'm really impressed though with Paul and his brother's ability to fucking focus, you know. It's a fucking huge mismatch, but their ability to focus and not be overwhelmed by the magnitude of the stage, et cetera. That's a real gift, man. That's a real gift. We were talking about stand-up comedy before, man. Stand up in front of a group of 30 strangers and try and tell jokes, and that'll show you nerves, man. That'll show you how fucking fucked up it is. And this guy goes out and boxes Floyd Mayweather. I'm impressed. Having said that, he's throwing jabs, and Mayweather just slips him to the right. Mayweather has seen him coming from a mile away. He's kind of smiling at him, is Mayweather. This would be amusing to Mayweather, I think. He can't. He keeps throwing that jab, and Mayweather's just slipping that jab. But he slips it so easy, man. He slips it so easy, does Mayweather. This will start to get really tiring for Paul. You know, he's very fit. He's in incredible shape, but it's not the same thing, man, being in there with someone like Mayweather because you're reacting to him as well. Little imperceptible feints that Mayweather does. There's 19 seconds to go in this second round. Mayweather's starting to work the body a little bit more. Goes looking for a hook, does Paul, and Mayweather takes it on the gloves. There's 8 seconds to go. Paul looking for that jab. Mayweather's like some of those jabs that he's throwing, like when they're front on to each other, he's missing by about a meter. Mayweather's just sliding out of the way. The difference in skill level is huge, man. Huge. Alex Collar says, "Can we agree that Floyd looks better with no hair? Hashtag bald is best." The thing is, man, he can grow his hair at that age, and that's something that I can't do, and that's something that I have to respect. Jed Kerr says Floyd's going to make him piss blood with body shots. Never trust an elf says Logan should go for the double leg. He should. He should blast double Floyd Mayweather. Man, I'm okay. All right, we're off, people. They touch gloves, back in the middle. Juice, what do you do in that situation? If someone's just faster than your punch, can you throw an anticipated punch like where you think he'll dodge? I'm just a casual, haha. Now you're kind of right with that. Uh, you are kind of right with that. But what Paul's doing is fainting. So he faints, and that's kind of drawing that reaction out from Mayweather. But the difference in skill is fucking huge, man. It's huge, huge. So yeah, you faint if the guy's fast. You faint and then you strike right after the feint. But it's hard to do that, man. Like I said to you, Mayweather has seen all of it. Now Mayweather's just walking forward with his high guard, taking the shots on the gloves, and the Paul doesn't have the same pop on his punches anymore, and it's just going to get worse the further it goes. So Mayweather does watch this. Mayweather's going to walk forward with his guard high, so it doesn't give him any chance to be able to wind up the punches. See what I mean? He's crowding him, doesn't let him wind up the punches. Yeah. And Mayweather's smiling and laughing. And he'll do this probably for the next 3-4 rounds, 2-3 rounds. He'll do this. Walk forward with his hands high and take the shots on the gloves because he hasn't got the same pop anymore. Mayweather's laughing and he's slipping and moving. Now, see, the problem is there for Paul. He has to react. He has to react to whatever Mayweather's doing. That's incredibly tiring for your neural system. Incredibly tiring. How a clincher scored. Well, nothing scored in this round. That was a nice right. Ooh, 2 right rips to the body by Floyd, man. And you could see that they hurt. You could see that they hurt Paul. 41 seconds to go in the third round. May, Mayweather's defense is like, it looks funny, man, because he's so out of the way of some of these shots. Big left hand landed by Mayweather on Paul. Big right hand, right uppercut landed by Mayweather. Mayweather walks forward, hit him with a lead left hook. Paul again's trying to clinch him, but he's starting to take big shots of his Paul off Mayweather. Mayweather walking forward with the hands up, left rip to the body. He's landed some big shots, man, this round Mayweather has. And I believe it's Jake Paul. I'm not huge on who these guys are, to be honest. Python Colt says, given his current skill level, any corner advice you'd give Logan to make the situation less bad? Just, man, enjoy the money that you're going to make from this fight, dude. That's all I'd say to him. I feel like Floyd is just anticipating every punch. He's seen it and he's used to it. That's 100% right, Dine. 100% right. Rick James says Paul's tiring now. Yes, he is. Like you said before, kudos to Paul just getting in the ring with those legends. Yeah, man. Like He may survive this round. I think he'll survive this round, and then after that, it'll be very, very difficult for him. It's going to go really well. It's been difficult the whole time. Switches on his punches, and Paul's just tiring himself out. And every now and then on the breaks, Mayweather hits him, boom, counters and hits him with some big ones. Man, he like Mayweather makes him miss by so much. I can't believe the screen just froze on me. Okay, unfroze. Thank God for that. Mayweather just stalking him now around the outside of the ring. He won't stop him this round, but I think he'll stop him in the next round. I'll tell you who's fucking really winning with the stoppages is this stream, man. It just keeps stopping all the time. Randy says, we all love Fab's shiny head. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Never trust an elf says one single leg should do it. Yeah, but how tired he is now, I don't know, man. I don't know. He's pretty tired. Man, my thing's freezing. Why does it do this to me? Was my one shot at immortality. I was actually enjoying this fight. I was enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would be enjoying it. Let me see. All right, we're back. 4 of 8. Paul takes his back. Paul is in a lot of trouble here, man. He's breathing heavy. He's up against the corner. Mayweather's either going to cook him a little bit more. You know, when people say he's like Mayweather's carrying him, it's not so much he's carrying him. He's carrying him in the sense that he's wearing him out. You know what I mean? He's wearing him out. He's wearing him out. And I don't think Mayweather's going to even like Mayweather's just going to keep doing this because Paul's slowly, completely diminished. You know, as far as like the power that he had in his shots, he hasn't got him there anymore. And Mayweather's just moving him back now. Mayweather would be laughing his ass off at this payday. In fairness, so is Paul. Paul goes looking for some sort of double leg. Mayweather seems to have sprawled on it. Mark Whelan, I don't people understand how hard it is to just keep your hands up above your shoulders for any given amount of time, let alone throw punches in bunches. Dude, fucking hard. Hard. Especially when you're hurt. You're hurt and you're trying to breathe, etc. Da 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 da. It's hard. Omega Sai says Floyd's boxing skill is alien to Logan. This shouldn't even be a fight for Floyd. It isn't. It's not. It's a fucking joke. It is a big freak show. Juice says, "What's the most energy efficient punch you can throw? Probably a jab, some sort of jab." Joseph, how long do you think the training camp for Mayweather for this fight? I'm guessing 3 days. Mayweather works very, very hard though, man. He's always in shape. He's always training hard. He's very smart. He cops a lot of flack for a lot of shit, but he's very smart. He's always looked after his body a lot. Getting worse and worse for Paul. It's really started to slow down. Mayweather keeps coming forward. 1-2 from Paul. Again, Mayweather with the counters. And he knows, like, the other thing is people don't understand the time. Like, you don't understand how long 8 rounds is. So you might feel great for 5 of those. You might feel good for 6 of those rounds. But if you fall off at round 7 and there's still 2 rounds to go, you're going to lose. That's what, Mayweather knows that so well. So well. Walking forward, just moving just out of the way is Mayweather. This is so tiring what Mayweather's doing to Paul. The way that he's just walking him forward like that is so, so tiring. Paul looks exhausted. Sorry, guys, I missed a lot of things. Oh, big uppercut by Floyd. Swinging a miss on a right hand by Logan. And Floyd ducks under and hits him with the right uppercut. Nice one. Really snapped his head back. Again, Floyd just wearing him out, just tiring him out. Oh, again with the uppercut by Floyd. Logan Paul's got a chin on him. Fair enough, he's fighting a guy much smaller than him. Oh, right hand over the top by Floyd. Very nice. Right hand lead by Floyd. It's 27 seconds to go. Paul throwing the jabs out, but Mayweather hits him with a nice left hook there. Not flush, but hit him enough. Rips to the body by Mayweather. Juice, can you punch your opponent's leg in boxing? No, you cannot. That'd be behind the belt. Below the belt, sorry. Street Heat, this is a line in the sand. We are pros, you are YouTubers. I don't know what his brother's saying because I can't hear him, and I'm glad I can't hear him. Randy says, I couldn't care less about this fight. I just love hanging out with Fab. Thank you, sir. The feeling is very, very mutual. Left rip to the body by Mayweather. Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate your support, guys. I love hanging out with you guys. Thank you, boys and girls. If there are any girls on here, I don't know, but I think it's more like just a bunch of guys watching the fights. Moist Penguin says, I'm going to lose money if Floyd doesn't finish him. I think Floyd's going to finish him, man, towards the end of the thing. Like, Paul is very, very tired, man. Very, very, very tired. Yeah, so I don't think you're going to lose money. There's still, man, like, I think there's 2 rounds to go. What do we got here? The start of the 6, so 6, 7, 8, really 3 rounds to go. I don't see Paul surviving all 3 rounds. If Mayweather wants to get him out of there from here on in, I think he will. Especially as the fight progresses. He's going to, yeah. Rosie Mendez, where is Coach Favia when you need him? Laugh out loud. He's coming forward. Here's Mayweather. Right hand over the back of the head by Mayweather. Goes looking for a lead left hook, does Mayweather. Paul tying him up. Mayweather just comes forward. High guard and goes for looking for the left hook lead on a counter there when Paul throws his right hand. Paul clinching with Mayweather, pushing him up against the ropes. Ref breaks him apart. Mayweather coming in with a high guard. Gets hit with a jab, does Mayweather. Nothing on these punches anymore but from Paul. Mayweather pushes him off. He's saying stuff to him. There's 1 minute 34 seconds to go. Mayweather would be able to feel very much that the punches are absolutely gone from Paul. One minute and 12 seconds to go. Mayweather goes looking for the right hand again. Paul looks to clinch. He would be exhausted, is Paul. Man. Mayweather just coming forward now. None of the jabs hitting Mayweather. Mayweather, another rip to the body of Paul's. Mayweather looking for that left rip, like really telegraphing it, really showing it, then hit him with the right as well. Paul has taken some shots to the body, man. There's absolutely nothing left on those punches from Paul coming as Mayweather just walks straight through him. You'd be forgiven to think that Mayweather's the bigger guy now in this fight. And these trappings and that, like trapping like that with the hands and everything inside, like that, Mayweather would have his experience would be make it impossible for you to punch like that as effectively as he can from any range, but in particular when he gets in close like that. Right hand to the head by Mayweather. Oh, another right hand and another left hand by Mayweather. And that, people, is the round. Mayweather's family is watching. I feel like I've seen these people since they were little. Like, I feel like I've seen them grow up. Mark Whelan says, Fab, has he even landed a punch clean on Mayweather? Nah, not proper clean, you know what I mean? Which MMA coach do you think could come up with a good game plan against Floyd, like Trevor Whitman? It depends who they've got fighting Floyd. You get what I mean? Like, doesn't matter who the guy is or how, you know, whatever. As long if you can't make strawberry jam out of pig shit. Like if you don't have a guy that's gonna like be able to give Floyd a run, it doesn't matter what game plan you come up with. I can come up with amazing game plans to beat Francis Ngannou. You just have to have someone that can do it though. You know, I wouldn't be the only person. So this is the seventh round. I'm surprised, honestly, that Paul has still stayed in there at this point. He would be hurting, man. Honestly, credit to him. Like he would be fucking hurting. I'm telling you now. He would be feeling it. He'd be hurting it. He'd be exhausted, be hurt to the body. He'll have taken some big shots as well to the head. Bigger than you'd think. Like he's not a trained boxer. So there's some of those shots would have landed quite flush on him and he's still coming forward. So I'm impressed with that. Yeah, Hanoi Tripper, he said, looks like Floyd's even out wrestling Paul. He absolutely would be. In there with gloves, with an exhausted guy that's been taking shots, Mayweather would feel like he's Jordan Burroughs in there right now. He'd be exhausting Paul. $143 to go in the seventh round. Again, Mayweather goes looking for the body. Yeah, he is Luke Thompson. He's very, very good at that inside and wrestling and blah, blah, blah. 100%. There's 1 minute to go in this round. Floyd's still standing outside of range. Logan would be hurting, man. He would be hurting right now. Oh, little jab there by Logan, but nothing on it anymore. He runs straight into Mayweather. There's 32 seconds to go. They hit each other, both each other. They both hit each other with left hooks. And now Paul is trying to wrestle him. I think he's just trying to survive, man. There's 17 seconds to go in this round. He would be exhausted. He'd be hurt. He's trying to feint and keep Mayweather at bay. He's definitely tired. Oh, he came in with a jab and got hit with a nice left hook then. Okay, Oliver Ekman says I wouldn't say he's good at wrestling at Luke, just boxing clinch. No, but he's very good at the wrestling in that boxing in the boxing ring. He's very good at it. Is he good at wrestling like Jordan Burroughs is? No, of course not. But in that clinch work, yeah, very tiring. Juice says Floyd's going to jump out of the ring like Khabib and eagle kick Jake. That will be interesting. I'm interested to see the cacophony of noise that's going to occur once this fight's over. There isn't, yeah, you are right, Mark. It is like chopping down a tree. I think Floyd's just going to run out of time now. It's the eighth round, eighth and final round. But man, he's landed some shots. Man, he's like shots to the body. We're off, people. Eighth and final round. 3 minutes to go. No, Floyd smashed him. Luke Thompson, yeah, in a boxing sense, I agree with that's what I meant. Floyd clinches when he wants and escapes when he wants. It's been a feature of his game for a long time. Yeah, and he traps the hands in there really well as well. You know, that's another thing people don't get. Like you can't get the shots off at all. He's not just clinching; he's trapping you. Alex Collar says, "Hey Fab, when can we expect another guest podcast on the Grange?" Look, man, right now it's a little bit hard. We've got a lot of things going on at the moment. And it's really hard for me to be able to organize my time and somebody else's time, you know. So it's a little bit hard right now. So right now I can kind of do stuff off my own bat if I can, you know, when I can. But it's hard for me to organize. You know, a lot of the times I have to do it via Skype with people that are in another country or whatever, and it's just a little bit difficult at the moment with all the stuff that I've got on. Nice left hook there by Mayweather, but it will happen. It will happen again. Um, if Logan survives, he's going to call out Connor using the fact that Connor got finished. Man, it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder, but we'll watch it. We'll watch it all. He probably will survive. He's like keeps hitting the double leg. The problem is for Jake Paul against, I mean, Logan Paul against Connor. Connor's bigger than Floyd. Do you know what I mean? Like Floyd doesn't fight at 155. You know, so Connor's bigger than Floyd, and I don't that it's just a different fight. I see Connor hitting this dude hard. You know what I mean? 49 seconds to go. Like Paul is taking a beating. You know, from a very like the saving grace is that it was against a little guy. You know. Oh, nice little left hook landed by Mayweather. Bit of showboating by Paul, but Paul is losing badly. Hanoi Tripper, Fab, how big was the glove change from 12 to 10 ounces? Like, what do you mean? How big was the glove? 2 ounces? Like, is that what you mean? Or do you mean how much of an effect would that have? I mean, the gloves are there to protect the hands, obviously, but there is a point of diminishing returns. Um, I think Jake Paul, there he is, he's screaming and carrying on. Um, what was I going to say to you? Yeah, I mean, 12-ounce gloves is a lot of padding on there. But the the Paul brother, the people with Paul, both Paul brothers, are fucking acting like they won. You know what I mean? And I guess they're going to say they won. I guess they're going to say they won. Um, Mark Whelan says, Fab, how many people do you train at the moment? I'm only training a couple of people at the moment. It will, you know, come out in the future in a little bit. But yeah, I'm training some pretty decent kids at the moment that that have some good future in front of them. From Mark Whelan. So yeah, that was the. I don't know what madness these guys are going to say. I'm just watching the everyone in their corner. It's like they won. Until Mayweather's not happy. You can see. I can tell that Mayweather would have liked to have knocked him out. CV Fab, who do you think won? Like it wasn't even fucking close. It wasn't even close, man. It wasn't even like. It wasn't even close. Mayweather for sure. Sammy says, "What's happening right now?" No, it's finished. Fight's finished. Hanoi Tripper says, "How much effect in the fight?" I mean, you'll hit a lot harder with the 10-ounce gloves because they're just not as heavy and they don't have as much padding. So yeah, it's honestly, I think that benefited Paul. In my opinion, just them being heavier and him having to carry that extra weight for the longest amount of time. Yeah. Joseph says that's the weirdest sparring match I've seen in a while. I've seen harder spars than that. I got sorry, there's a lot of people going really quickly. My Toby says, I think I just witnessed child abuse. Never trust an elf says they're celebrating like they won the World Cup. Here they are. It's funny. Like you know, uh Amir Muhammad says Paul won that. I hate Fraser Crane says, are you robbed? Are you I don't even know what you guys are saying. Well no one won because it's not judged. But Mayweather won that fight. Everything right says classic. They both get their money and just jump around the ring with a few shots here and there. What the fuck is this? Laugh out loud. Isaac Herschel says Logan Paul not getting KO'd is a win from his corner. Um, okay. Thank you, Alex. Take care, my friend. Now Mayweather's talking, giving a speech. I don't know what exactly he'll be saying. First Australian says delusional Fab. Logan won that. Fair enough if you say so. If you say so. Um, wow. Hassan Ahmed says fair play to Logan. Look, fair play to him for sure. He's got my respect, like from that perspective. Um, I hate Fraser Crane says their bank accounts won. Absolutely. Thanks, Fab. Great commentary, mate. You legend. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining me too. Thank you for being here, guys. We will be doing a preview of this weekend's UFC fights at some point this week. We will also be doing the Bellator fight commentary, and yeah, so please join us for that, as well as, of course, we'll be doing the UFC fights this weekend. So please join us for an exciting week in combat sports for us. Let us know. Let us know what you think. Write it down in the comments, etc., etc., etc. I really appreciate everyone watching. Please like and subscribe, and if you haven't already, hit the notification bell. We will be changing the name of the podcast come Saturday, Sunday, around that time. Hanoi Trooper says, "Do you think Connor's looking at the numbers for a rematch?" I'd imagine so. Yeah. Shane Williams says, "Nobody stock drop if nobody loses." Cheers, Fab. Thanks for your great work as always. Thank you, sir. Chill says, "Fab, do you think Mayweather considers Logan to be an easier fight than Connor, or would it be the same level of challenge for him?" I think Logan would be significantly easier than Connor. Mark Whelan says, "Cheers, Fab. Thanks again, legend. Looking forward to the upcoming streams. Your loyal sub, Mark." Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Um, Sorry, guys, I'm probably going to miss a few people here. Yeah, that's crazy that a lot of people paid and didn't get the to see it. Man, I'm watching them stand side by side, and Logan Paul is so much fucking bigger. CBC Legend says, "Thanks, great commentary. Cheers on the Marvin Gaye shirt. See you on the next one." Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man. Um, Keenan Millam says, "I guess boxing is the kind of sport where it's harder for the top to distinguish themselves from the bottom. You can't tell me if Gordon Ryan grappled a blue belt, they'd last and make rounds look close." It's not really accurate though, man, because it's Floyd Mayweather right now is not like who Gordon Ryan is in jiu-jitsu right now. Like 25-year-old Floyd Mayweather against 25-year-old guy the same weight as him, because this guy's fucking massive compared to him. It wouldn't even be fucking close. Um, this would be like, and this guy's not a blue belt either in boxing. He's been more than a blue belt in boxing, a fair bit more than a blue belt. But you saw it when Cyborg, you look this match up, Keenan, look it up. Yes, at the time was pretty much the fucking like a Gordon Ryan type of character in jiu-jitsu at the time, and Brendan Schaub was not. But the rules and the way they did it made it so that they could have a draw as well. So yeah, it's no different to any other sport. The fact that Mayweather just because you got to understand Mayweather beat this guy like I don't know, man. Like if it was a jiu-jitsu match, he beat him 30-0. Like it wasn't close. Um, Yeah, like Ofon is big. You're right about that. If it was a Canelo Alvarez or Triple G, then Logan Paul would probably be dead. Like you're talking about a 43-year-old guy that fought most of his career fucking 140s, thereabouts. Um, no, Ben Marlon, they haven't. There's no winner in the fight. Like there's no official winner, but it was clearly Mayweather, like not even close. Anyways, people, thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on here. Thank you for everything that you guys do and all the support, man. You guys make it really worthwhile. I love doing this. I'm just really, really glad that I got the opportunity to do it. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. Bye bye.